Okay, welcome. It's a beautiful night, and I'm Neil Thompson, and it is my great pleasure to welcome Mr. Sen and all of you around the world to tonight's teleseminar. And it's time once again to raise our belief level. And as I have told all of you many times, I've been working with Mr. Sen since 1989, and I met him in 1988. And I've gone coast to coast across the United States and Canada with him. I don't think there's not a major city we have not covered. We've gone from Los Angeles to New York and Calgary to Toronto and Hong Kong to Shenzhen, China, and Tokyo to Taipei. But one thing, I have never ever seen Mr. Sen stressed out. I can vouch for that. And I wondered how this man could play it so cool. And I always really wondered about that. And there were factors, I've seen that would have stressed out anybody, from a flight missed or canceled, and we've had snowstorms, to coming down to a hotel and finding the room wasn't booked. And I've never, ever seen him stressed out. And I've never heard him raise his voice. And there's always been a smile on his face. Even when a waiter brought him a steak, and he's a strict vegetarian, and I wondered, what is his secret? And I followed him, and I realized one thing. He truly believes there are no accidents in the world. And that's what he teaches throughout the world. Everywhere he goes, he says there are no accidents. The universe is guiding us all the time. So I started learning from him, and I showed the universe works perfectly. And there's nothing that can stress us out. I'd just like to give you one example. And this happened, and it was we were going to give a seminar, and it was going to be in Denver, Colorado. But the back-end people didn't do the work they were supposed to. And here we were in Denver, Colorado, and at the Marriott Hotel. It's a huge hotel. It was a free preview seminar. And only one person arrived. One person. I remember when Mr. Sen came down from his hotel room, and he asked me, as he always does, how many people? And here he was, and I held up my index finger, and I said, only one person. You know what? He said, good, he said, and he walked in, and he said to this one guy who was sitting there, you're a really brave guy. You're still sitting here. I'll tell you what, I'll give you the best seminar I've ever given. And he did. And for 2 hours, he told the guy how to build the mental muscles to build a business. And when Mr. Sen came out of the seminar, he said, nothing happens by accident. And, a few months later, there we were, back in Denver, to a packed house. Same hotel. And the ballroom was packed. And that's Mr. Sen's style. And that's what Mr. Sen is going to talk to us about today. So welcome, Mr. Sen, to tonight's call.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you. You remember that day?
I do. It was a bit embarrassing to put up my one.
So upset.
Yeah, one person.
One person. And he was wondering what was he doing there. Should he stay there? He was very fidgety, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Imagine the big room.
Out in the chair. He was the only person in the whole ballroom.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that's a memorable day.
Yes.
A real memorable day in my life. Speaking to a packed room is easy. The hardest thing is to speak to an empty room with one person.
Yeah, you have to wait for the instant reaction from him.
Yeah. He thought I was going to sit down next to him in the chair and talk to him.
Yeah, no, you stood up the whole time, yes.
Yeah, I was meant to talk, standing on my feet.
Yes.
So that's what I did. Today we're going to discuss it. Neil, what's your stress today?
Stress?
Are you stressed out for the holidays?
No, actually, I've been listening to your teaching, so I'm not stressed out anymore. But I can see a lot of people around me, the way they're driving on the streets, they're all stressed out trying to do all their shopping and trying to make it a happy time for themselves and their family.
Yes. I'm going to tell all of you out there in the world, the question is, how does stress invade us? Stress is an invasion. Nobody needs stress and nobody wants stress. And stress has been a cause of a lot of problems in many people's lives. And I learned right in my childhood that stress is important. And stress is important to us. And when stress is an indicator that we haven't finished our job, or we have to do it, like we stress out all day, and then to walk we have to stress. Then we relax and go to sleep to de-stress, not distress. Stress is caused usually in three ways. You don't have a goal, like most people don't, but they feel they have a lot of things to do, or a lot of things they want to do is unfinished, and they don't know what to do about it. So there's a defense mechanism as well as a natural mechanism. Oh, I'm stressed out. Two, when you have a goal, the number two problem, when you do have a goal and you know what you want to do, but you feel you don't have the time to finish it all. It also may be that you don't have the means or the resources to finish it all, like buying gifts and shopping, and you don't know who to get what for. Like, this is the holiday season. The subject we're discussing is how to turn stress into joy. The third reason people have is you have the means. You have the time. But your environment is racing you and is pushing you to finish it. It goads you, then rushes you into doing things that you really don't want to do. It's very obvious. You can see how people are fighting with each other, cutting off each other on the freeway, getting into the parking lots. And what is happening here, the season of joy and season of giving gets into a season of anger. And we don't like it. Nobody likes it. Even the person who's doing it doesn't like it. But most of us get trapped in these situations, especially during this special day. We want to make sure that we enjoy the holiday. That's the reason. We really feel that we have to enjoy the holiday to the fullest and extract everything out of it and before the holiday finishes. This is the same way some of us feel the beginning of a weekend. I've seen people when I used to work for a living, and by the end of Friday night, many people feel that the weekend is almost finished, almost ended, and Monday is just looming around the corner. And they feel you have to go back to work, to the grind, and wait for the next Friday to come. That's a terrible thing. And that the difference is that was the difference between that and the holiday that is coming to us right now. The holidays comes once a year. And it is the greatest time of the year. At least the weekend is just a week away, and still people fight. The next holiday seems an eternity away. Or should I say, another year away. There is the rub. That is the rub. This holiday is finishing. We feel that is the end of the world. The holiday season will end, and we won't be able to extract anything out of it. And we feel that at our time and our means, like Scrooge and the Grinch, are out to steal and to ruin our holidays. Our resources are like Scrooge, and time, like Grinch, who are out there raising their ugly heads during the most holiest season to sabotage our holidays with our family, friends, if we just can manage to get to the dinner table. The whole atmosphere, may I say, thoughtosphere, the thoughtosphere, becomes combative or confrontational. Combative and confrontational throughout to get most out of what we have, and we do try to put on a big show, try to be nice to each other. Yet we seem to be fighting time and space before the end comes. Now that is the current situation analysis, if I may say so. The truth of the matter is, the holidays are there for renewal. The end of the year is coming. We have to know what is the purpose of our holidays. Our holidays are there for empowerment. The holidays come following Thanksgiving. We're just full of gratitude for the harvest of life. And then the winter comes, and we know that is a holiday where we go deep beneath the snow, meditate, and vision. So for the spring to sprout a new life and bring forth a whole process of growth. One of my favorite lines of Shelley in his Ode to West Wind. The Ode to West Wind begins, "O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's be." The whole wild west wind comes in the fall, in the autumn. And then he says, in that poem, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? If winter comes, can spring be far behind? That's why the winter, holidays is the winter. We deeply meditate, welcoming the spring of life. The holiday season is the winter of our life. We say we want a white Christmas, or we want a beautiful Hanukkah. We want everything. Quiet, contemplative, and away from all negativity. Be it even traditional negativity, why you can't do this or why you can't do that. When I say traditional negativity, I mean that we do not want to rush. We must let ourselves go. And whatever comes, let it come. Follow nature. We want to give gifts to everyone. Giving gifts to everyone is recognizing their divinity. We even give gifts to the mailman. It is a season of giving, not of expecting. Our expectation should be what we expect from ourselves and not from anybody else. What do I expect from myself? That's meditation. What do I expect from myself? Can we reflect on that? That's reflection. So stress, our hopes must be, stress is caused when we don't know what to expect. Our hopes must be what we can give and not what we want to get from others. So stress is directly related to our belief level. When our belief level is raised, our stress diminishes. When stress comes in, we know it is empowering us to raise our belief level to the heights unknown to us now. Whenever we feel stress, remember, it is empowering us. It is telling us to raise our belief level. And another thing you must remember, all of you, and I should too remember, our body cannot move without stress. We cannot walk without stress. We cannot get up from our chair without stress. We cannot get up from our bed without stress. Stress is not bad. The stress of every cell of our body creates more cells and you subdivide, and that's how evolution takes place, out of stress. If there was no stress in our body, then we would become wobbly when we walk, when we stand, when we sit. Stress is good only when it has a purpose. Stress is given to us and is an indicator of our integrity, that we need to have a vision. If we don't have one, if we don't have a vision, or we do have a vision, or we're trying hard to manifest it, the question is, either we have a vision, we're stressed out, the vision is not manifesting, or we don't have a vision, we're stressed anyway because we don't know where we're going. But the answer is, if we have a vision and we are stressed out because it's not manifesting, our vision is incorrect. A vision is a sight which we need not manifest it. A vision becomes manifest. We cannot manifest it. We have to see it. A vision is a sight. A sight need not be manifested. It is already there. We have to see it. We have to see it to believe it. Turning stress into power is a fact of life throughout nature and is a part and parcel of all our actions. Water is stressed to produce electricity, which lights up a city and cooks our food. Atoms vibrate, causes stress to form a parent solid. When stress comes in, we must go back to the original first 3 points I started the discourse with. We have to have a vision, or we don't have a vision. And the 3 points that we have to remember is, you don't have a goal, but a lot of things to do, or a lot of things unfinished. Like the rabbit in the story of Alice in Wonderland. Always looking at his clock. It's always late. Dear me. And he goes on, running as fast as he could, standing in the same place. The second point, when you have a goal or a series of goals, you feel you don't have the time to accomplish it. And that stresses you out. 3, you have the means. You have the time. But your environment is pushing you and racing you and pushing you to finish it. And that can stress you out too. But when you truly have a vision, what you want to accomplish, you know that you do not have to worry. It's already there. Our stress comes out of our belief level. Do we believe that we can accomplish our goal? If we believe we can accomplish our goal, we cannot be stressed. Like Neil said, he never saw me stressed. I know I have always go and work with a goal. I always get up and know, even from my chair, what my goal is, that I have to go to the dining room table from my office desk to have my dinner. When stress comes in, we don't know what we're doing. That's the secret. You always have to know where we are going. And you always have to know, if you set a goal, it is already accomplished. And ask, among these 3 points, we have to ask which of these 3 points are affecting us, and then turn them into power by taking corrective action. Number 1 rule. The purpose of the holiday season is to invoke a whole new cycle of life, of spring, summer, autumn, and back into winter of our own life. Also to remember, this is not the end. This is the beginning. That is why throughout the holiday season, we must meditate on the 2 proclamations. The first one is consciousness is the creator. And the second one, that thou art. The first one tells us, it is not the brain that creates. It is not the mind that creates. It is my feelings that create. It is my consciousness that creates. The mind is only the processor. My feelings come first. My feelings must come first from within me to make sure that it is consciousness and not the brain. Second, to support the feeling, the second proclamation tells me that everything is conscious. Everything I touch, feel, see, smell, taste, hear is consciousness. That raises my belief level. My external organs of senses are just instruments. They are not the feelers or the smellers or the hearers or the tasters or the seers. They are just instruments. It is only my consciousness that feels. I feel, therefore I am. My whole existence depends on my feelings. It is not the other way around. I feel, therefore I am. So when stress comes in, smile a bit. I'm telling you, when stress comes in, smile a bit and say, my consciousness is goading me for a successful new year, a successful holiday season of contemplation, especially self-contemplation and meditation. The time has come now that holidays have come a few days later. Next week, the holidays will truly begin. We'll give each other gifts. Throughout the world, everybody celebrates this time. December, winter comes. We go deep. Everything is covered, and the land is ready to take in the seeds. So are we ready to take in the seeds of a new vision, of a new life. The brand new year is approaching us. We shall not look back. We shall look forward to a brand new year. This is the time to go within, like the caterpillar goes in, creates a chrysalis around its body from its own juice, and then breaks itself up into a guk. And out of that guk forms wings and a proboscis. And it even fights with itself, then breaks away from the chrysalis, as still needs an hour of sunlight, the most vulnerable time of the butterfly's life, turns caterpillar into butterfly. It went through a tremendous stress, and so shall we. We shall transform ourselves into a butterfly from the caterpillar of this year to a butterfly of next year. I look forward to flying with you in swarms so we can fly from Mexico to Toronto. But for that hour, we shall be very vulnerable. When a butterfly, when the caterpillar breaks up itself inside the chrysalis, it becomes like a gucky, thick soup, fighting itself. This imaginal self comes out, and it feels it's destroying itself, but it becomes like a thick, mucky soup. That's stress. And out of the stress, beautiful wings. If you can see from the outside the chrysalis, vaguely you can see the wings formed. Then it has to break open. It has to break open the chrysalis that it created itself. And when it breaks open, the wings are still soft. You can hardly spread it. It needs at least an hour of sunlight before it can harden the wings and straighten the proboscis. At that time, it lives the most vulnerable time. But if you try to help it, if anybody tries to help it to spread its wings, the butterfly can never fly. And then it struggles with itself. That's the contemplation. That's the meditation of winter. And spreads its wings. And this is the vision of a caterpillar to becoming a butterfly. From a human to a superhuman we become. And that is stress. How we can stress, how we can turn stress into joy. And then this same butterfly does not drink, does not eat leaves anymore as it was a caterpillar. It now only drinks the nectar of the flower, the nectar of life. Let us all do so in 2010. Let us all live. Go into meditation, go into contemplation. Look at all the stress you have and say, this is my time to make myself into a butterfly for 2010. A monarch butterfly. I'll float the sky and travel the universe. Let's look forward to a great vision of who I am, what I can expect from myself. I can expect to be a butterfly from a caterpillar. I look forward to seeing you and talking to you next year in 2010 and fly with you across the universe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sen. That was beautiful. I think everybody who's listening tonight after hearing your wisdom, will see stress in a new light. And we'll prepare ourselves for a great new year ahead. Our next teleseminar will be in the middle of January. And there, Mr. Sen will be in Thailand at that time. He's going to be arranging for the Chiang Mai Summit for writers, speakers, and marketers. And he'll give a teleseminar right from Chiang Mai. And we'll notify you the exact dates of that teleseminar. And we'll be sending out the replay for tonight's teleseminar and re-listen to it. And please forward this email to your friends, relatives, and anybody else in the world you'd like to share it with and help them in this year's holiday season. And so we look forward to talking to you in the new year. So happy holidays to all of you and your family. And good night. Adieu, Auf Wiedersehen. And we'll talk to you in the new year. And thank you once again, Mr. Sen, for tonight's insightful message.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.